Imagine this: you walk into a room, confident, but as soon as you speak, someone cuts you off. They ignore your ideas, dismiss your thoughts, and you're left feeling small. How often has that happened to you? Too often, right? But here's the thing, most people don't realize that being disrespected isn't about what others do to you. It's about what you allow. Yeah, I said it. Respect isn't earned, it's taken. Shocking, isn't it? We've all been taught the same lie, that respect has to be earned over time, through patience, or by pleasing others. But that's where the entire system breaks down. Because waiting for others to hand over respect is like waiting for the sky to turn green. It's just not going to happen unless you decide it will. The world isn't wired to reward passive people. It favors those who demand respect, who take charge, who refuse to be ignored. If you're sitting there, nodding in agreement, let me ask you this: why haven't you done something about it yet? Because it's comfortable, isn't it? Being quiet, staying polite, trying to avoid conflict. You tell yourself you're being nice. But deep down, you know the truth: nice doesn't work. And it never will. Here's the harsh reality: the more you wait, the more people will treat you like you don't matter. That's the cold, hard truth. And that's the controversial part of this: you've been lied to. Respect doesn't come to the most deserving, the most hardworking, or the most loyal. It goes to those who demand it. Think about the people you respect the most. Are they the ones sitting in the corner, afraid to speak up? Or are they the ones who command the room, who speak with authority, and act like their presence matters? The choice has always been yours. You decide whether or not to accept disrespect. The moment you realize this, everything changes. The problem isn't others, it's you. But this isn't about blaming yourself, it's about waking up to a new way of living. It's about taking the power back. You've always had the choice, but today, right now, is when you start using it. From this point forward, never again will you tolerate being treated like a second-class citizen. Never again will you let someone else dictate your worth. You'll be the one deciding how you're treated. And trust me, when you demand respect, people take notice. It's instant. It's transformative. If you feel uncomfortable, that's good. It means you're starting to see the truth. Discomfort is the first step to change. So, what's next? How do you stop this cycle once and for all? From this moment on, you are no longer playing by the same rules. The first step in never being disrespected again is understanding a crucial truth: people treat you how you teach them to treat you. This isn't just a belief, it's a universal principle. Think about it. Every interaction you have is a silent negotiation of power, respect, and status. And here's the secret most people don't know: you've been in control of this negotiation all along. Yes, you. It sounds radical, doesn't it? We've been conditioned to believe that respect is external, that it's something others give to us, something out of our control. But that's the old way of thinking. The truth is that respect starts with you. And here's the core of it: the way you view yourself is the way others will view you. This is the belief that changes everything. So, let me ask you, how do you see yourself? When you walk into a room, do you carry yourself like someone who matters? Do you speak like someone whose words deserve attention? Or do you shrink, blend into the background, hoping to avoid the spotlight? If the answer is the latter, it's no wonder you've been disrespected. The world reflects back to you exactly what you project. If you act like your voice doesn't matter, people will agree. If you let others interrupt you, they'll keep doing it. But the moment you believe, and I mean truly believe, that you are worthy of respect, the entire dynamic shifts. This isn't about faking confidence. It's about adopting a deep, unshakable belief in your own value. And guess what? It's something you can start doing right now. Yes, this very moment. Here's what you do. Decide who you are. Take a moment to think about the kind of person who never gets disrespected. What do they look like? How do they act? Now, here's the key: become that person. Not tomorrow, not in a few weeks, but now. It's not about changing your personality, it's about shifting your mindset. When you walk into a room, act like someone who commands respect. Speak with purpose, with clarity, with the certainty that what you have to say is worth hearing. Because it is. Set boundaries, loudly and clearly. Most people are afraid to set boundaries because they fear conflict. But here's the thing, boundaries aren't about conflict, they're about clarity. When you establish what is and isn't acceptable, people respect you more. Why? Because you respect yourself enough to demand it. The world notices when you set boundaries. It's as if you're saying, this is how I expect to be treated, and nothing less will do. And guess what? People will follow suit. Stop seeking approval. The need for approval is the fastest way to lose respect. The moment you stop caring what others think of you is the moment you take your power back. Here's the kicker, the less you seek approval, the more people will want to give it to you. It's a paradox, but it works. When you value your own opinion over everyone else's, you send a clear signal, I am worthy of respect, regardless of what you think. And that's magnetic. But let me be clear, this isn't about arrogance. It's about confidence rooted in self-awareness. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that no one can shake it. And when you believe this, you radiate it. People sense it. They can't help but treat you differently because you've taught them how. This shift in belief, this new perspective, isn't just empowering, it's liberating. It's the foundation of respect. Once you believe in your own value, the world has no choice but to follow suit. Now, you might be thinking, but what if people don't respond? What if they still treat me the same way? Here's where most people go wrong, they give up too soon. Respect isn't given in a day, but it's also not something you have to fight for endlessly. It's built through consistent, unwavering belief in yourself. If others don't recognize your value immediately, that's their problem, not yours. Keep holding the line. You don't adjust to them, they adjust to you. Because once you flip the script in your mind, the rest of the world follows. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And let me tell you, when people start seeing the real you, the you that demands respect, it's powerful. You'll start noticing small shifts at first. People will listen more intently, they'll stop interrupting, they'll ask for your opinion more often. And soon, you'll realize something profound, you taught them how to treat you. This belief is your foundation. It's the core that everything else is built on. And it's the reason that never again will you be disrespected. Before continuing, I invite you to click on the first comment, it will help you a lot. Here's a truth that nobody wants to talk about, respect doesn't come from being nice. Surprised? Most people are. We've all been conditioned to believe that kindness is the key to winning people over, that if we just treat others well, they'll reciprocate. But here's the hard truth, being nice is often a fast track to being overlooked, ignored, and disrespected. Sounds harsh, right? But stay with me. There's a reason the most respected people in the world aren't the ones bending over backwards to please everyone. Respect is never about being liked, it's about being valued. And often, the two don't go hand in hand. In fact, the fastest way to earn real, lasting respect isn't by trying to please people or make everyone around you comfortable. It's by doing something that goes against everything you've been taught. Start saying no. Yes, you heard that right. The single most counterintuitive, yet powerful, way to command respect instantly is by learning to say no. Why? Because every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, every time you agree to something you don't want to do just to keep the peace, you chip away at your own respect. And guess what? So does everyone else around you. It's a common trap. We think that by saying yes, by being accommodating, we're building bridges. But in reality, we're setting ourselves up to be walked all over. You cannot command respect if you don't respect your own boundaries. And here's the part most people miss, people respect those who respect themselves. When you say no, you send a powerful message that your time, your energy, and your priorities matter. But let's dig deeper, because there's another layer to this that's even more powerful. Saying no not only commands respect, it elevates your value. Think about it. Who do you respect more? The person who says yes to everything, always available, always trying to please? Or the person who's selective, who values their own time and resources enough to say no when it doesn't align with their goals or values? Exactly. Respect is built through scarcity, not availability. If you're always available, always accommodating, people will assume you have nothing better to do. Your time becomes cheap, your presence taken for granted. But when you're selective, when you reserve your energy for the things that truly matter, suddenly, people start to see your value. This isn't about becoming selfish, it's about understanding that your time and energy are your most valuable assets. And they deserve to be protected. Here's the kicker: the moment you start saying no, something incredible happens. People don't get angry, they respect you more. They may not like it initially, but they quickly realize that you're someone who values yourself enough to set boundaries. And that's the secret sauce. That's what separates the people who are respected from those who are merely liked. Now, here's the catch: this doesn't mean you should say no to everything. It's not about being difficult for the sake of it. It's about saying no to the things that don't align with your values, your goals, or your well-being. It's about making sure that every yes you give is meaningful, intentional, and worthy of your time. Because when you do that, when you start choosing yourself, you stop being disrespected. People start to notice the shift. They start treating you differently. They start valuing you in ways they never did before. And here's why this works so well: people are wired to respect strength. When you assert your boundaries, when you show that you're not afraid to protect your time and energy, you demonstrate strength. You show that you're in control of your life, that you're not at the mercy of others' demands or expectations. And that, my friend, is magnetic. It's also deeply counterintuitive, which is why it works so powerfully. Most people are caught in the trap of thinking that saying yes makes them more likable, more agreeable, more worthy of respect. But the reality is the opposite. Saying yes to everything doesn't make people like you more, it makes them value you less. Because in trying to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one, especially yourself. The next time someone asks for your time, your help, or your energy, pause. Ask yourself, does this align with my goals? Is this something that I truly want to do? Will this bring value to my life? If the answer is no, then be brave enough to say no. Politely, firmly, and without guilt. Watch what happens. Watch how people start to view you differently. Watch how their respect for you grows. And here's the best part: saying no gets easier the more you do it. It's a muscle you can strengthen. The first few times, you might feel uncomfortable, even guilty. But soon, you'll realize that by protecting your boundaries, you're not just earning respect from others, you're showing respect to yourself. This is the path to instant respect. It's not about changing who you are. It's about changing how you value yourself and what you tolerate. Once you make this shift, there's no going back. People will respect you because you respect yourself. And that, right there, is the game changer. Let me ask you something: what if I told you that respect isn't a long game? That you don't have to spend months, or even years, earning it? What if I told you there's a way to shift how people treat you in a matter of hours, maybe even less? It sounds unbelievable, right? But it's true. You can change the dynamic overnight. And once you understand how this works, you'll realize that the respect you've always wanted was just one small change away. So, what's the secret? It's simpler than you think: immediate action plus undeniable confidence. You see, respect isn't something you earn by waiting for others to notice you. It's something you command by changing the way you carry yourself and the way you communicate, right now. The first step to gaining instant respect is mastering your presence. Here's what most people don't realize: when you enter a room, people are already making decisions about you within the first few seconds. That's all it takes. And if you think that doesn't matter, think again. Those first impressions stick. But here's the good news: you have total control over them. Want to change how people see you? Want them to start respecting you more, starting today? Here's exactly what you need to do. 1. Own the room with your posture. Before you even say a word, your body is speaking for you. Want to be respected? Stand like someone who deserves it. Shoulders back, chin up, eyes forward. You'd be shocked at how quickly this small adjustment changes everything. It's a signal of strength, of presence, and people pick up on it instantly. They will subconsciously treat you differently because you're showing them, without even saying a word, that you're not to be overlooked. Try this tomorrow. Walk into every room like you own it. Stand tall, make eye contact, and see how people's behavior shifts. You'll notice that they start listening more, acknowledging you more, because your physical presence demands it. 2. Speak with authority. The words you choose and the way you say them are crucial. Here's a quick hack: stop apologizing unnecessarily, stop using filler words, and stop sounding unsure of yourself. The moment you cut out phrases like, "I'm sorry, but," or "I think," or "I'm not sure, but," you change the game. Every word that leaves your mouth should sound like a decision, not a question. Even if you're not 100% certain about what you're saying, say it with conviction. Confidence in your tone forces others to listen, and more importantly, to respect what you have to say. Here's the thing: when you sound like you know what you're talking about, people assume you do. It's one of the quickest ways to get instant respect. You don't need to wait for validation or approval, you create it. 3. Set one firm boundary today. Pick one area in your life where you've been letting others push you around, whether it's at work, in your personal life, or even in your social circles. Decide today, yes, right now, to set a boundary. Maybe it's something small, like not letting someone interrupt you in meetings. Maybe it's something bigger, like refusing to let a friend or partner take advantage of your time or kindness. Whatever it is, set that boundary clearly, firmly, and unapologetically. Here's why this works: when you stand up for yourself in even the smallest ways, you change how people see you. They'll start treating you differently, better, because you've shown them that you're not someone to be disrespected. It's a quick, powerful shift. 4. Use silence as your weapon. This one's a bit unexpected, but incredibly powerful. Silence commands attention. When you speak less, people listen more. Instead of rushing to fill every gap in conversation, embrace pauses. Use them strategically. Let others sit with your words, let them process what you've said before jumping back in. You'll be amazed at how this one technique can transform how you're perceived. People who talk endlessly are often ignored, but those who know when to pause and when to remain silent are seen as more thoughtful, more deliberate. And that, my friend, is one of the quickest ways to gain respect. When you make others wait for your words, you elevate their value. 5. Dress with purpose. It's not about fashion, it's about sending a message. How you present yourself externally directly impacts how people treat you. Think of it like this: when you see someone dressed with intention, with care, you immediately form an impression of respect. It's a visual cue that says, "I take myself seriously, and so should you." Don't underestimate the power of this. Tomorrow, when you head out into the world, dress as if you're meeting someone important, because every interaction is an opportunity to redefine how others see you. Respect starts before you even say a word. 6. Make bold decisions. Nothing commands respect faster than decisiveness. People admire those who take action, who don't hesitate, and who aren't afraid to make a move. From now on, stop second-guessing yourself. When a decision needs to be made, make it. This can be something small, like choosing where to eat or what project to start first, or something larger, like taking control of a meeting or initiating a difficult conversation. The faster you make decisions, the faster people start respecting your leadership. Boldness, even in the smallest things, shows strength. And strength always commands respect. 7. Stop seeking validation. Here's a quick win that can shift the respect dynamic almost instantly: stop looking for external approval. The moment you stop needing others to confirm your worth is the moment they start giving it to you freely. Think about it: when you no longer need someone to validate your ideas, your decisions, or your presence, you've just put yourself in control. People are drawn to confidence. When you act like you don't need anyone's approval, you become someone worth noticing, worth listening to, and ultimately, worth respecting. These changes don't take weeks or months. They happen instantly. It's about flipping the switch in your mind and your behavior, starting today. Don't wait for someone else to decide you're worthy of respect. Decide that for yourself. Because here's the truth: respect doesn't take time. It takes action. And if you want respect, you can get it overnight. You just have to start now. Now that you've learned the secrets to gaining respect, the small, powerful shifts that create a profound impact, you're probably starting to feel the momentum building. And here's the beautiful part: once you start gaining respect, it doesn't stop there. Respect is like a snowball rolling down a mountain. It starts small, but once it picks up speed, it becomes unstoppable. And that momentum, it transforms not just how people treat you, but how you see yourself, and ultimately, how you live your life. Imagine this: you walk into a room, and instead of worrying about how people perceive you, you know, deep down, that you're someone they respect. There's no need to impress or overcompensate. You don't have to prove yourself, because you've already done the work. You've set the boundaries, embraced your confidence, and shown that you're someone who commands respect. This isn't just about gaining respect from others, it's about gaining respect for yourself. And once you do, the changes ripple through every aspect of your life. Your relationships improve, your career flourishes, your self-esteem skyrockets. But let's take this even further. What happens when you've mastered the art of respect? What does life look like once you've established yourself as someone who is not only respected but also admired? 1. Respect leads to influence. Here's something most people don't realize: once you've gained respect, you naturally gain influence. People start to listen to your ideas, they seek your guidance, and they look to you as a leader. Whether it's in your workplace, your social circle, or even your family, the moment you're respected, your voice carries weight. You're no longer just another person in the room, you're someone people turn to for direction, for insight, for leadership. And the best part? You don't need to ask for this influence. It comes naturally, because respect and influence go hand in hand. When people respect you, they trust you. And trust is the foundation of influence. You start to notice that your opinions shape decisions, that your actions set the tone for those around you. You're no longer reacting to the world, you're actively shaping it. 2. Confidence becomes effortless. Respect and confidence are closely linked, but here's the amazing thing: once you start gaining respect, confidence becomes effortless. It's no longer something you have to work on or fake until you make it. It's a natural byproduct of how you carry yourself. The more respect you receive, the more confident you become. And the more confident you become, the more respect you receive. It's a cycle that feeds itself, and it all starts with those first steps you've already learned. Think about it. The hesitation, the second guessing, the self-doubt that used to hold you back, it starts to fade away. Why? Because when you're respected, you're no longer questioning your worth. You know who you are. You know what you bring to the table. And that quiet, unshakable confidence is something others can't help but notice. 3. You become unafraid to say no. Remember how we talked about the power of saying no? Here's where it gets even better. Once you've established yourself as someone who commands respect, saying no becomes second nature. You're no longer worried about disappointing people or making waves. Why? Because you understand your own value. You know that your time, your energy, and your attention are precious, and you refuse to waste them on things that don't serve you. And here's the beautiful irony: the more comfortable you become with saying no, the more people respect you. You've set a standard for how you expect to be treated, and others rise to meet that standard. You're no longer bending to fit into someone else's expectations, you're living life on your terms. 4. People treat you differently. Here's a reality check: people will start treating you differently. Not just because of how you act, but because of how you've taught them to treat you. Respect is contagious. Once you've set the tone, others follow. They approach you with more care, they value your time, they listen more intently. You'll notice that the people who once took you for granted, or who used to ignore your input, suddenly start paying attention. They seek out your opinion. They ask for your advice. Why? Because you've shown them that your voice matters. And it's not just in professional settings. In your personal life, friends, family, and even strangers will begin to recognize your presence in a new way. They'll understand that you're not someone to be overlooked, but someone to be respected and admired. 5. Your standards rise, and so does your life. Once you've gained respect, something amazing happens: your standards rise. You no longer tolerate mediocrity. Whether it's in relationships, career opportunities, or personal growth, you expect more. You demand more, not from a place of arrogance, but from a place of knowing your worth. You start to surround yourself with people who lift you up, not drag you down. You seek out opportunities that challenge and fulfill you, rather than settling for what's easy or familiar. And as your standards rise, so does your entire life. You begin to experience more fulfillment, more success, and more happiness. Because when you demand respect, the universe meets you at your level. 6. You become a role model. Here's something you might not expect: once you've established yourself as someone who commands respect, you become a role model for others. People start to look up to you. They notice the way you carry yourself, the way you navigate challenges, and they want to emulate that. Whether you realize it or not, you become a beacon of strength, confidence, and self-respect. And that's powerful. Because when you lead by example, when you show others what it looks like to respect yourself and demand respect from the world, you create a ripple effect. You inspire others to raise their own standards, to value themselves more, and to step into their own power. 7. Life becomes easier. This might be the most unexpected benefit of all. Life gets easier when you're respected. Why? Because you no longer have to fight for what you deserve. Opportunities come to you. People treat you better. Challenges don't feel as daunting because you face them with confidence and clarity. You're no longer chasing approval or validation from others, you've already claimed it for yourself. You wake up each day knowing that you're respected, knowing that you have control over your life and your destiny. And that sense of peace, that sense of power, it's liberating. You're no longer reacting to life, you're creating it. So, what happens now? Where do you go from here? The truth is, you've already taken the most important step. You've unlocked the keys to respect. You now know the hidden powers that drive how people treat you, and more importantly, how you can control it. You've learned how to shift your mindset, how to set boundaries, and how to carry yourself in a way that demands respect. Now, it's time to put it into action. Starting today, take what you've learned and apply it. Walk into every room like you belong there. Speak like your words matter, because they do. Set boundaries unapologetically, and watch how quickly people adjust to the new version of you. Because once you start gaining respect, you'll never go back. Respect transforms your life forever. And never again will you be disrespected.